ADA, we start with 1 hour chart. Okay, for reflectable analysis, when the price was here, we mentioned about different possibility. When we were talking that the best option if the price broke this low, but as we can see, the price start to be more corrective. Okay, and if we were to over analyze this, even I mentioned that this move, if you putting it in relative to this, can be more corrective. Now the question is whether still this is a correction for one more drop or this is the start of the up move. Okay, one things we need to know, sometimes this one can tend to a really corrective structure because now we are in this correction. As long as the price haven't broke this low or this top or this low, still we are within this correction. Okay, and we can see different possibility. All right, now we want to see how we can analyze and how we can trade it. Okay, if we move to 1 hour chart, still we are within this move down move, and now we're looking at this correction because we're expecting the price to continue. All right, but now once how long will be within this down move, and if we move to forward chart, it will be more clear. This is what we're talking about. Okay, now we want to see how long we will be within this before we get the next move. And every time you're putting this one in relative to this, we mentioned any drop to break this low can give us a better trade setup. Okay, now we want to see how big this one can be and how we can trade it. Or how about if this is the start of the up move and this is the correction? But whether we can call this one as ABC or not, but based on the, indicators, we don't have much information. That's why we mentioned this one. If we give us one more drop to break this low, can give us a better trade setup. Okay, now I want to see how we can trade based on 1 hour chart. If we move based on 1 hour chart, as I mentioned, as long as the price is within this range and haven't broke this top or this low, is we are within correction, and any trade within this correction can be short-term trade with the should be whether 1 hour or lower time frame. Okay, and know what we're expecting. First of all, I mentioned if this is the ABC and this is the start of the up move, and this one is a first wave and this one is a correction. Okay, now still if we put this one as a correction, still we can expect for one more drop, at least to break this low before we get the continuation. Okay, the break the low is a 1.075. Okay, that's why if we get any drop, break this low, any reversal, we will take it, and when the price come to this top, we start to manage it. All right, now the question is, if we call this one as a 1 to 3 with the, if as we say, with the breakout of the drop, whether the price drop from here or break this top, also possible break drop, we need to know about this possibility. Okay, but as I say, any trading within this one will be within the correction, and if this one move a bit as a corrective to this top, any sell we can take it with a short flag. All right, at least to break this low, then we see whether there is a continuation or not. Okay, by the way, right now we don't have any trade set up, and the best thing is if this one turn to a correction for one more drop to break this low. Okay, and as I say, there is no, we don't have any trade set up. That's why still we want to see, we put our this entry here, we leave it, which is 1.226. Okay, the reason is in case we get the sharp move, at least we are within in trade. No, the thing is whether we should leave it there or we adjust it to this top, which is 1.2. I prefer to be here as where we put last time, because as I mentioned, this one can tend to break the top and drop. Okay, that's why we don't want to put here. And what we want the price sharply break, tank, and continue. Tag, break, and continue. If tag within 1 or 2 hours is not moving, we don't stay with the trade. Okay, anyway, we don't have any trade set up here. I want to just give an example based on other charts. If we move to, that's why I mentioned there is a possibility this one can be turned to a bigger correction for a longer time. It moves as a really sideways. We need to be aware of that. If we move to this chart, all right, this is what we have been. If I move to forward chart, it will be more clear. All right, this is what we have been within for quite a long time. As you can see, the price broke. We get this. This is what we exactly what we have been discussing. No, the price break this up. Okay, what I want to point is we have been within this move for the quite long time, and suddenly we get the sharp move. And the only way was to trade this one because internally there was no trade setup. If we move to 1 hour chart, we will see it. Internally, there was no good trade setup. Any trade setup was a short term. That's why we put entry above this and we easily get this. Okay, this is what we are looking for ADE because as we can see based on ADA, if I move to ADA chart, as long as the price is within this move, within here is a corrective. Any trade will be a short term. And we expect if this is the first move in relative to this, whether the price break, as we mentioned, if the break this low can give us a better trade setup, better break or not, the next move can be quite sharp. That's why we put our line here. Okay. Anyway, we don't have really good trade setup. And the only thing is we want to see how long we will be within this correction because the way is moving. Whether this one can we expect to be within sideways for longer time or not. In this case, we just follow the chart. And if I get any trade setup, I will share. And again, we put this one here. Or if the price moves sharply with the breakout of this top, any flag we can look for buy as a short-term buy. Rather than that, right now we don't have it. We want to see how this correction can form. In this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.